Hello, Cryptonauts. Welcome back to this special edition. Just going to do an update here with Jake and myself on the Blockchain Expo. We just kind of want to give you guys an update of what's been going on with that. So welcome, Jake. And yeah, how was your experience in a quick synopsis? Give me one sentence. How did you feel about the Blockchain Expo?
I don't know if it's one sentence. Um, I would say blockchain expo disappointed. Overall expo, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think for me, just going to these events, making those connections, shaking those hands, that was a good experience. But the fact that the Blockchain Expo w- being a supposedly a thing, that was what was disappointing about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I shouldn't say it was terrible because the people that were cool
it
enough,
was no, no,
but
no. Literally, in Expo, an event called the Blockchain Expo, you expect there to be thousands of people, hundreds of
well,
thousands of people there, right? At least,
well, all right. You know what?
But
It
when you
was
have,
funny is it felt more like the smart city expo for the blockchain part. They those poor people paid way too much money for what they got. So and that once we actually finally found out what they were actually paying for their booths, I honestly feel like the blockchain people should have been in the Smart City Expo space.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It was
So there's
disappointing.
obviously there was multiple events there at the Santa Clara Convention Center,
Yeah,
and we got a chance to go to the Smart City Expo, which is detached from Tech Expo. The Smart City Expo is obviously like an IoT kind of IoT AI digital transformation of cities all around I don't know if it's around the globe. I know it's around the states. It is an
yeah.
it
It was
is
certainly Bay
a
Area based because that's what the one event we watched was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so I followed up afterwards, and I'm seeing that this is the smart city movement is across from here all the way to New York, and
Yeah,
they go to all these different expos and events, and they kind of petition these ideas to try to really uh, upgrade their city services by providing AI, smart cameras, smarter cars, smarter connections. Like one of the coolest thing that's coming up, and I didn't even know this. Maybe you know about this, Jake. The whole thing that California is buying out. What do you call it? Fiber line across the entire state, so they can reduce the amount of uh, centralized competition out there with companies that are charging very expensive
yes, there is definitely a
bills.
move within the dark fiber just being fiber that's not being used. Fiber was installed in the 90s. The irony is, or actually late 80s to early 90s and throughout the 90s, all over not just California, but all over the US. And then it just sat dark for basically 10 to 15 years until Google in 2008 said, hey, there's a bunch of dark fiber, we should use it. And then when they started trying to use it, they got nearly sued out of existence, obviously not gone, but there was a huge uproar against fast internet by the powers that be at the time, like AT and T and Xfinity, Comcast, and what was the other one? Was it NBC? I don't remember. There's another. I can't think of what they're called. Bright House, I think. Um, all the other companies that existed were just like, hey, you can't compete with us. And Google's like, watch us. You know. So yeah, fiber is finally making its debut 30 years late. Um, And yes, it's there is a push to get the competition equalized everywhere, not just in the hands of the few.
Yeah, but from what I heard from the Smart City Expo was that the it's going to be run by state.
Right.
So that particular project that they're building, and so that they're going to be spearheading the reduction of I guess billing that individuals pay, so they can directly compete with private companies and
That's good to know.
help Californians have a higher, I guess, bandwidth
Yeah, yeah,
and,
much,
and a
much, much
better
higher bandwidth. That's
interaction.
one of the things I noticed when we signed up, the company I worked for signed up for AT&T was you can get 5 gigabit synchronous data. 5 gigabit synchronous data connections. That's both directions for $400 a month, which might seem expensive to the average consumer, but if you're comparing that to uh, what it costs in commercial, it could easily cost you $5,000 to $10,000 a month commercially. So, and it's a lot of data we're talking about moving, and a great deal of data. Most home networks aren't even that fast. So, it's available. It's completely possible. It's definitely doable even with current technology, but the powers that be are trying to stop it. And I don't mean the
Hmm.
states. I mean private industry is like, hey, 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 we have to charge you per megabyte for that because we can.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where California's trying to come in and say no. We're gonna be able to lay down these fiber lines, and we're gonna reconnect
Well,
this
yeah, well, not really.
California
They're
with
already
some
laid
with better.
down. We just need to connect them to people. So, and we need
Hmm.
to stop
Hmm.
having people gatekeeping all the data.
Yeah. That's cool. Back to the blockchain expo. So I think the biggest difference from last year to this year was obviously the reduction of booths.
Yeah.
Like what was it, 20 from last year, no October, like literally 6 months ago.
Six. Yeah, there were six
To
total blockchain people, and ones that were actually there. There were probably 25, 10 of which didn't show up. But um,
Yeah, honestly it did not look like that. It didn't look like there was any available space for any other blockchain booths there. Like because AI and IoT kind of filled in, kind of merged over to that section. They got pushed over to that
I don't think
section.
that was true. That was one whole open wall next to Inoflex and DigiShares. To the left of those two places, there was at least
Three
three or
three
four
booths.
booths that were completely empty.
Yeah, yeah, 3 booths. I know. When you have six and you're adding 3 booths, it's not. I'm still not like, wow, that's crazy. No, no.
Right. But I
That's
mean, there were
what.
only 6 booths total, or maybe no, there were two, four. Yeah, there were only 6.
Yeah, 6 booths, and they called it a blockchain expo. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty small. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the Raven Coin Awards was bigger.
Yeah. So, sponsors. What's interesting about here is that they still have sponsors on their website. And I don't know, maybe these were just sponsors that were just copied and pasted from last year. And even if they're not sponsors this year, they probably just kept their names on there just for clout. It looks really nice when you have the Casper Labs, when you have WanChain, when
Yeah.
you have
Well, no,
Samsung
they
on there.
paid. They just didn't pay for a box. They paid to have their name put on it. Which probably was a lot cheaper than actually having a space.
So you're
So,
telling me that they just pay to have their name on the website, but not
mm-hmm.
and nowhere displayed at the venue?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were displayed at the venue. There were several places where it was displayed at the venue.
I didn't see no Tron, no
I
Red
did.
Light Finance.
I remember seeing Red Light Finance on the billboard that they had up for all the blockchain stuff. Tatum was there. Um, I think Samsung was there just because they were elsewhere, but Wanchain was definitely there. I don't remember if Burbix or Casper Labs was on the list. There was a billboard. Um, they didn't put it up right away. It wasn't until later that empty space that we talked about just a bit ago that had
Yeah.
the billboard of all the names.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I got
Okay.
any
Guess
pictures of
I guess
it,
I
but I
missed that.
remember walking past and going, "Hey, Red Light Finance," but they're not here.
Okay. So it says 6,000 attendees. That 6,000 was literally from the other expos because obviously this expo has many expos underneath it. Um, oh, did I lose connection? Are you still there with me?
Yeah, your Twitch stream failed,
Yeah.
and you're getting very, very choppy.
Why now?
Very choppy.
What's going on?
You gotta tell your roommates to stop
No.
downloading so much porn, dude.
Oh, hell no!
Here we go. We should be back on. Good. All right. Let's continue on. So, in regards to the whole official networking party afterwards, that was supposed to be like free for anybody that had a networking pass, networking party pass. Afterwards, it was supposed to be free, yeah, like free dinner, whatever,
Yep.
free snacks. I don't
They
know
said
what,
it.
but it was supposed to be
Yep.
right.
We can probably pull up the what's it called? The email and show the explicits of what they originally sold us, and then when we got there, we got one. What was it? One drink token.
I guess that's what they gave us. One drink. Like, here's your one drink. You know, like, wow, thank you, thank
A
you.
whole drink token, right? And that drink token was worth, I guess, if you got booze, it was worth $16. If you got a soda pop, it was worth $7.
Stupid, stupid.
But yeah,
It's
they were supposed to
ridiculous.
be fully
Wow.
catered, but I'm sure they figured out how much that was going to cost later, and they're just like, nope.
Yeah, it wasn't all that at the 49ers stadium or the Levi stadium wasn't really all that. I wasn't impressed. Even though it was my first time there, I was like, whatever. You know, the food was garbage. It was
Yeah,
literally worse
yeah.
than like high school cafeteria food. That's how bad it was. Like there was nothing.
It
Like I
was
normally eat all my food.
undercooked and barely good. So yeah,
Jeez, it was bad. It was bad.
yeah,
Let's see what else. It was good connections. I did like the fact that I connected with people, but we could have done that anywhere else. Could have literally went to a restaurant together and just had networking party at a restaurant. You know, would have
yeah,
been way better than this.
yeah. It was. I would say it was a far cry. I mean, it was neat to go to a different club within. I've been to Levi Stadium twice before. Once to see the roof garden that they have on the away team side, and once to go into Sprint T-Mobile's box seat, which was really amazing. And I still have pictures that I could show of that. But and there was free food in there, complimentary, and it was good food, not just free food. So yeah, it was a far cry of difference as far as that goes. So yeah, the official networking party. I think probably, as John was saying, the best part about it was networking. Personally, we were quarantined just to the 501 club, and if you went outside and tried to go anywhere else, they had the security guards. Even at the doors that exited to the escalator, you couldn't go out there either. So it was just like, nope, sorry, it's just here, only here. And if you want more than one drink, it's $16 per drink, and the drinks were like 6 ounces.
The same thing with the burger. The burger was like 15, $20 or whatever it was.
No, it was $15 for a burger and $9 for the fries. Yeah, it was sad. I mean,
Yes,
personally, I
it was
liked
sad.
the stadium. It's a really neat stadium, but yeah, it's not what we were expecting. So, yeah, we did have a chance to network with people, and John met a great number of interesting people while waiting in line for his cheap booze.
Yeah, actually, so yeah, with the token that I had, I was waiting in line, and that's where I met Lily, and she was like one of the organizers for the Smart City Expo, which I didn't know that was another expo within the same Santa Clara Convention Center that's just down the hallway, right? And there was a lot of other things there. Obviously, we didn't go to them because it's not really that's not what we're there for. But you know, I was invited there, so I checked it out. It was pretty cool. I made some connections there. It was great. All right. So in regards to the speakers, the stage speakers, there was nothing that made me go, "Wow, this is amazing." To me, the majority of them, I would even say just about all of them, nothing stood out, and it was all just like filler. It was filler, just take a break, move it down, listen to them. There was nothing that really interesting.
You're
Not
going
go well.
robot-y again for me. I'm sorry. Are you still there?
Yeah, yep, still here.
Okay. Well, it was getting.
Okay, we should be good now. All
Okay.
right. So in regards to the speakers, there wasn't that many speakers. There was a lot of repeat speakers only because they didn't have enough speakers to speak one after another. So they would batch them up in groups and then come up with a topic and then break them down one by one. later on, like in the, an hour afterwards. Like, jeez, they couldn't even have enough speakers for the blockchain expo.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
Well, we're a lot of blockchain representatives there, so. And we did talk to what was it Daniela Barbosa of Hyperledger, and
Yes.
we talked to Gabriel Zadoun, but we talked to him last time. He's really cool. We definitely want to. We also talked to Alex Kanyankin of Unicoin. Actually, you talked to him on the first day, but
I'm showing Alex Dominguez.
well, I mean, I'm looking at the speakers list, um, and it was the founder CEO of Unicoin, was Alex Kanankin. Kananikin. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, Unicoin was not something we were interested in, so we didn't really get very far with that. Yes, Alex Dominguez is another person that's involved with Unicoin, but he was the chief investment officer guy that we talked to on the second time, who didn't seem convinced that he wanted to give an interview. Who else did we talk to? Oh, those are 2022 speakers. We Sapid Blue,
A
Abby
lot of these
Kumbat.
speakers were not even there.
True, but we did talk to all of the blockchain people. Like I said, we talked to QuickNode and to we tried to talk to Frederick Accounting, but the CEO did not want to be on camera for that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. The one person that I didn't talk to that I wish I had a chance to talk to was Joshua Rivera from Blockchain Capital. That
yeah.
guy, he can hold a really good conversation. I was hearing his stage talk, and he's one of those guys that is more open minded and wants to like just debate the pros and cons of things, which is good. Like it
Mhm.
shouldn't just be an echo chamber. It shouldn't be showing favoritism towards one thing. Let's try to understand the bigger picture and really debate on how we can improve this. Right,
Right, right.
Joshua. I want to reach out to Joshua and see if we can get him on the podcast.
Well, it may be a possibility, but in any case, this list of people that are on the website, in particular for Blockchain Expo, most of which were not there. So we really didn't get a chance to talk. Oh, the Web3 guys, Web3 Radar guys, which aren't even listed on here, which are probably because they didn't speak at the, they didn't have a speakership. They were pretty interesting, and I was glad that we got to interview them. So, yeah, QuickNote was a cool guy. Chris Wright, who's awesome, and really good speaker, even though he wanted to redo his speech. Abi Kumbat, he was pretty cool. He was very confident, knew what he was talking about. Honestly, he's a great speaker, and he's probably a really great marketing guy as well as probably a really good engineer. But a lot of what he said in our little interview, which eventually you guys will get to see, felt like marketing jargon. Because when I was trying to get information out of him, he went on and on and on about stuff, but nothing in particular. It was just about how his AI / blockchain could help people, but not exactly what it did. So usually when you talk to somebody, like when we did the interview with Alex and Shiv from Zimbit, they were very explicit with what their technology did, and it
Yeah,
was
it
obvious
sounds
and
like some of the
apparent.
speakers that I that spoke over at Hacker Dojo when I'm hosting that event out there. Some of them are just adding all this marketing filler error, and what they're showing on the screen is really not that impressive, or it's very limited to just basically the imagination. It's like, okay, you're trying to sell me a product, but yet you have no finished product. But yet here's an MVP that's just a screenshot of one thing
Yeah.
that you don't have it. Like what's going? You know what
What's
I'm
really
saying?
going on here,
You know?
right? You're just trying to drum
Yeah.
up support, and you're trying to just do the marketing speak so you can get, people to. But I guess the difference you're saying, in particular, when it comes to Hacker Dojo, is you're talking to engineers. You should be talking
Mhm.
tech when talking to engineers, not marketing. So at Blockchain Expo, it's definitely there's both. There's certainly both tech and marketing. But like when we had that short discussion with all those guys at the table when we sat down for lunch on the first day, um, they there was certainly an aspect of marketing. Two of those guys were definitely marketing, and the other guy, the Ukrainian fellow, he was definitely tech. Um, and so, of course, my take on it before you came and sat down, John, when I was sitting there with those guys, was kind of my general disapproval of AI, and it was interesting to get their feedback because they literally worked in AI or worked with it. So there's a perspective of practicality with what one can do, and a lot of the people that were there, particularly for the rest of the expo, were there to try to impress with their concept of what they were going to do with AI. But I was looking for practical application. Not everybody has that. So.
Yep. Another thing about the Blockchain Expo, or just the expo itself, this whole entire event, what we noticed the biggest difference from last year to this year is the amount of people, the attendees that were there compared to last year. This year, there was just basically like a 2 hour rush on Wednesday, just the first day from like what was it, 11? No, yeah, like 11 to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say like 11 to 1. That's when it got really packed. Basically, when everyone's on their lunch break, and because it was on a weekday, that was a Wednesday. The event was Wednesday, Thursday, and nobody really showed up on Thursday. It was very, very limited to just there wasn't that much people there. But Wednesday from 11 to 1, that was about it. Was the most people there. After lunch, that's when everybody took off. The majority of the people took off. So that's yeah, that definitely speaks volumes in itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the middle of the day, I mean, this event is Wednesday, Thursday, and people who work jobs in Silicon Valley aren't necessarily going to be able to come for the whole day. So yeah, we did see a surge from what 10:30 to 1:30 for people coming in and checking things out and then leaving. And the same thing was technically true on Thursday, but probably half as many people showed up for that. So it was a lot more. I don't know if it's laid back is the right term, or I don't know. It feels like because we only had it 8 months ago, it was like too soon for people to really get more. I think the reason we had so much AI stuff in this, and you know that they set this meeting up before, because we signed up for it in December. ChatGPT had literally just hit the market. So I don't think that they were planning it based on the expectation of people doing AI. But man, did AI take off in the last 6 months since December. And so there was just tons of AI stuff there at the expo.
There was, there was a lot of AI. Yeah, AI and IoT, I think, was primarily the two things that were there. We didn't get a chance to see Spot this year. Spot wasn't there.
Nope, Boston Dynamics were not there. Because it wasn't Boston Dynamics last time that was representing. It was someone else. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. There's not. It was
very limited.
less impressive, but we still got a lot of content. So
enterprise security, enterprise edge computing, digital transformation and action, digital data and AI, enterprise AI, Web3 and digital assets or blockchain.
Yeah,
digital transformation of Web3.
Absolutely, AI, big data, and IoT ruled this particular expo. Sure, there was cybersecurity. Sure, there was 5G. Sure, there was edge computing. Definitely noticed that, but not nearly as much as the first two.
And let's see, what else? Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers everything we did. Like I said, we got a bunch of really good interviews. We got a bunch of good short interviews that John did, and a bunch of long interviews that I did. And if you are interested in a Patreon subscription, you can check out the full stream of literally almost 10 hours worth of content that John captured from Twitch. It's no longer available on Twitch, but you can see it because we downloaded it, and it is privately available on our Patreon if you want to really check out the full extent. But because this is extracurricular content, the only way to get that is to pay for Patreon. And so we really want to show our support for our Patreon subscribers. We definitely appreciate, because that supports this show. Then if you want to check that content out, you'll need to subscribe, and it will be a minimum of $15 a month for all that extra content. Because believe you me, doing this stuff might be a little fun, but it certainly can be a lot of work too. So.
Absolutely.
So with that, You got anything else, John? I think we covered it all.
That's it, man. Just until the next event, whenever we get the next event in,
Yep.
the Pacific Bitcoin is coming up, and I think it's October. But that's a pricing one. Let me check that out real quick.
Isn't it like
You know
eight?
what? We'll do that off. We'll do that off air.
Yeah, we can talk about that off the
Yeah.
outside of the recorded stuff. So,
Yeah.
alrighty, thanks everybody for listening for the recap, and we will stack sats and hodl. Catch you guys on the flip side, right?